Before we begin today's episode, we want to take a moment to honor the life and legacy of legendary University of Minnesota baseball coach John Anderson, who passed away on July 26 of 2026 at the age of 71. John dedicated nearly 5 decades of his life to Gopher baseball, including 43 years as head coach. By the time he retired, no coach in University of Minnesota or Big Ten history had earned more victories than John. He finished his career with 1,390 wins while leading the Gophers to 11 regular season Big Ten championships, 10 Big Ten tournament titles, and 19 NCAA postseason appearances. In 2024, the University of Minnesota officially retired his number 14. John's connection to today's guest makes this episode even more meaningful. Tim McIntosh played under Coach Anderson at Minnesota, and when Tim was inducted into the Cape Cod Baseball League Hall of Fame, John was there to present him and speak during his induction. We dedicate this episode to Coach Anderson, his family, his former players, and the countless people whose lives he influenced through the game of baseball and beyond. In honor of number 14, please join us now for 14 seconds of silence in memory of John Anderson. From working in his family's Chinese restaurant, to bartending, to becoming present-day owner of Twin City Heating, Air, and Electric, my father's true superpower is human connection. Now, he's on a mission to capture the most fascinating stories that make up the Minnesota community. You're listening to the Twin City Tales podcast.
I'm Wymond Wong. I spend my days keeping Twin Cities homes warm, cool, comfortable, and powered safely. But my true passion is bringing you electrifying tales from the people who make Minnesota such an incredibly comfortable place to call home. Welcome to Twin City Tales. Today's guest is more than a former league major baseball player. He's an old friend. Tim McIntosh and I first met while attending the schools in a Hopkins school district. And after more than 35 years, we reconnected. It's been incredible to see where life has taken him. Tim's baseball journey is nothing short of remarkable. From growing up in Brooklyn Center to becoming a standout at the University of Minnesota, he went on to spend parts of 6 years playing professional baseball in the major leagues, minor leagues, and Japan. When his playing days ended, Tim continued building an impressive career in the game. He spent 14 years scouting professional baseball and 1 year as assistant coach in the New York Yankees minor league organization, helping evaluate, develop, and guide the next generation of players. Today, Tim has reinvented himself once again as a realtor. The same preparation, competitiveness, negotiation skills, resilience, and commitment to teamwork that carried him through professional baseball now help him guide his clients through some of the biggest decisions of their lives. The conversation isn't just about baseball or real estate. It's about resilience, starting over when one chapter ends, and using everything life has taught you to succeed in the next. Please help me welcome my friend Tim McIntosh.
Oh,
good to see you here.
Good to be here, Wymond. Thanks.
Man, I am so happy that you gave me the call 6 years ago when you came back into town and we reconnected. It means a lot to me.
Well, that was an important call I knew I had to make.
I really appreciate it. But before we get into all the major league stuff, the one thing that I still talk about to today, and I tell my kids this, that I was with you at Parade Stadium and you banged 2 of them out, the longest shots I've ever seen, and one of them ended up in the steps of Dunwoody, right over Hennepin Avenue. Yeah. It's crazy how far that shot is. I'd like to go out there and measure how far that was, but it had to have been like a 500-foot shot.
You know, you always think they're an urban myth. You think it went further the older you get. So when I hear you all these years later say, no, it went that far, it's like, son of a gun. I really did get into that ball.
You did, and 2 of them in one game. Like,
Yeah, we had some good talent, and you kind of play up to your talent. Plus, I'm guessing we probably were playing Edina, and they were the force in Minnesota to play. So you always stepped your game up when you played with them. Plus, I had good teammates too.
God, I wonder, was Wassenaar a pitcher
Rob
that game?
Wassenaar was probably pitching, but I don't know if I hit him that hard. It might have been somebody else.
Yeah, but you know how it is. The faster it comes in, the quicker sometimes it goes out.
We had a competition. He'd get me, then I'd get him, but it wasn't easy. They were good. They went to the state championship every year.
Do you remember that game at all? And what were you thinking as you pulled up to that game?
I don't remember games like some guys can remember. Like, I remember it was 2-1 and Tony Clapp was on second base. I don't remember. I just remember, man, that ball went far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I know is I think I was saying to myself, anything that went that damn far and that damn fast and that damn high should have a damn stewardess on it, don't you think?
Yeah, that's a good one. But then I think you remember the one I hit in Richfield too.
Yeah.
To where I found out years later, somebody on the other team wrote me a letter when I was playing to ask me a question. And he said, by the way, do you remember hitting that ball in the tennis courts past the baseball field? I'm like, that did happen.
Yeah, that's like the Mickey Satzer shot in Hopkins where he put in the tennis courts too.
Yeah.
That we hear about all the time,
So
right?
I had a little juice.
Yeah.
Before they had juice.
What was it like playing for the University of Minnesota, and how did that experience prepare you for that professional level?
That was, I was always fortunate to have a mentor coach, be there when I needed it. When I was 13, I had two coaches think I should play for the Minnesota Little Gophers, and they presented my mom with, hey, listen, if Tim makes a team, we'll pay for it, because they knew we couldn't pay for that. My mom was a single mom. So I did. I made the team, which I didn't. I'm like, how am I going to make a team against all these Minnesota kids? Because that was the only traveling team there was. Wow. So those guys mentored me. And then, Dick Elford at Hopkins was there to push me. And then John Anderson, thank God, he put up with me, because he had every reason to not let me go to the University of Minnesota. But John gave me a chance to play, and it wasn't easy for him. But he even says to this day, he saw something in me, and he's like, I don't know what it is. And he gave me a chance. And I did. I flourished, and it was a great experience to play 3 years there and get drafted.
I hate to digress, but you mentioned Dick Alford, and I don't know if anybody's listening to this, and I don't want to piss anybody off, but I still think Dick Alford should have coached our Hopkins team instead.
1,000% he should have.
Frickin' what's his name? But
no, and here's the thing you didn't know about Dick. He was on the
Gophers,
the last Gopher team to win a national championship with Jim Rance.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. He didn't tell us that. I didn't know that until I got connected with him, like I did with you years ago.
I think he told me
he
that.
Never talked about himself. Never talked. I actually have his old Gopher hat. He gave it to me.
Do you really?
Yeah. Or actually, his daughter gave it to me at the funeral.
Oh, God rest his soul. What a good man he was.
He was a good man.
Used to call him Tricky Dick Alford.
Oh. Yeah. We got a lot of Dick Alford stories, but we don't have enough time.
Yeah, we don't have time to cover that. So when you played at the university, one of the things that you did that you told me about that I thought was super cool is you negotiated your way out of being redshirted. Tell us about that.
Well, that, again, is part of all the gray hair John Anderson has. First of all, I was just happy to make my freshman year, you make the Texas trip. That's the big spring trip. That's like going to spring training. So I made the trip, and I wasn't playing. I wasn't playing at all. Now, again, I was not a very good defensive player. I had a great arm, but in college, my defense was not that good, so I DH'd. And they called me into the office, and not the office, into their room in one of the hotels down there, and I don't know where we were in Texas. But him and Gary Jost said, hey, listen, we think it'd be really good. You get redshirt year, you can work on your defense. And I just stopped him right there. I go, whoa, no, you're not redshirting me. And John's like, what are you talking about? And he tells a story at the Cape Cod induction for the Hall of Fame. And then you kind of forget, kind of like I hit the ball on the steps, you kind of forget, did it really go that way? And I said, yeah, no, you're not redshirting me. Redshirt Gergen. I told Jeff Gergen that a couple years ago, and he hasn't talked to me since. He said, you're the reason I got redshirted? But I talked him out of it, and that's what John said. He says, all the years I coached, 42 years of coaching, I have never been talked out of a redshirt except for Mac. He said, but there was just something that told me, give him a chance. What did I do? I went out and led the team in hitting as a freshman. Couldn't play defense, but I could hit.
That's such an awesome story. But you negotiated your way through it, which is part of who you are today.
No, it's not going to go this way. It's going to go
right.
Right.
So, and then I think during that time, you actually got drafted in college, right, by the Brewers, like 1986. Where were you, and what was going through your mind when that happened?
Well, in '85, was having a good year, but I'm DHing. You know, I'm catching the middle of the week games against St. Cloud and Mankato, and poor Mike Halloran, he had to double up on the weekend games because back then you played 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. Well, he couldn't put me behind the plate, so I went to John and I said, John, I want to get drafted next year. I will not get drafted as a DH. And he goes, yeah, I've been thinking about that. And that was when Lou Holtz had just got to the University of Minnesota, and he built that big, huge, we called it the Taj Maholtz, the big football facility.
Yeah.
So what I could do is I learned how to play outfield that whole winter because you could take full-length throws, and I just worked at it. And I think John said the other day we were together, I still hold the record for most assists in right field. Like I said, I had a great arm.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
You
didn't always hit
cannon.
the cutoff, man. But I took to the outfield quickly, and that's where I played the whole year. And he says it's because he needed me as far away from the bench because he got tired of listening to me. So he put me out in the outfield. But what got me drafted by the Brewers was Mike Halloran in a game against Northwestern got run over at the plate by Joe Girardi.
No.
We all know Joe.
Yeah.
So Hal's knocked out. I got to come running in from the outfield, put the gear on, and I'm all hopped up. So I'm just throwing bullets. You know, you want to fight. Your teammate got run over. Well, Billy Castro was the scout for the Brewers. He just got done with his career. He puts in his report. Oh, Timmy McIntosh can catch. So it was years later when he was my pitching coach in AAA. I said, it's your fault I got drafted by the Brewers. If you'd have left me alone, the Twins would have taken me.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just the timing thing, right?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
So the Brewers knew I could catch,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, my body it looks like a catcher. It's just, my knees and everything else. And it finally got to where in 96 with the Yankees, I became a really good catcher.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. We won the AAA championship that year.
Yeah.
The problem was my knees were done by then. So, and I was kind of at the end of my career. But it was a lot of work, but I made myself a good catcher, and the hitting was always easy.
You worked hard at that. I know that. You've
Yeah.
always been a hard worker. Before, though, you got to professional baseball level, you played for the Cape Cod Baseball League. What made that experience so important to your development?
Well, again, somebody believed in me. John Anderson had placed Terry Steinbach out there a couple of years ago with Coach John Mayotte, and a similar situation, middle of the season. They needed somebody to fill in for somebody that went home. So he calls John, and he goes, hey, you got one of those hitters from Minnesota that like Steinbach? He goes, I got a hitter. I don't know where you're going to play him, but I got a hitter. So, again, John believed in me. I went out, and I actually played very, very well. I got invited back the next year, where I led the team in led the league in hitting, and then the next year I went back because Billy Castro got me upset. So I was out there 3 years, and each year I did well, and then it was a wood bat league. So now the scouts don't have to speculate. Can he go from aluminum to wood? Because wood wasn't used in college, high school. So again, it was having the right coach at the right time. Give me a chance. Just give me a chance.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I've always said. Just give me a chance. I can do it.
But that push got you into the Cape Cod League Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
which is incredible, right?
Yeah, and there's always a little bit of those naysayers. Someone's always going to be a naysayer, but just to say, you're not good enough, you can't do it. I'm like, really? Give me a chance. So I've been fortunate to have people give me chances.
So when you got to that, it's cool to be called HOF, right? But what did that honor mean to you?
I wasn't really sure how big of a deal it was, so I called a scout that was with the Yankees that I was working alongside. I can't think of his name right now. He's from New England. So I called him up and I go, hey, what is this Cape Cod thing? Is this a big deal? And he goes, it's huge. Peter Gammons is going to be there, and it really was. But then when you look back at like all-star pictures or your team pictures of who was there at the time you were there, a lot of these guys are really good players. I played with the best of the best, and I competed with them. And again, you don't pay attention. So if I would have maybe realized that, maybe a little more confidence there when it got really tough, because everybody's got their level. And mine was kind of that AAA bump in the big league, bumping, up and down, up and down. But it was an honor, and the biggest honor was they asked me to bring a presenter. And I said to Tracy, my wife, I said, who do I find? Where do I find one of those? And she goes, ask John Anderson. So I went, you know what? So I called John. He said, absolutely, I'll be there. Terry Steinbach was the last one to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, and I don't know any other players that I get the chance to do it again. So he flew out there, and introduced me and the things he said I didn't even know. And
Wow.
just to know that John dropped everything to go out there and do that for me was amazing.
Wow, you have had a very blessed life in in baseball, which is super cool.
Yeah, I put John through hell.
Where does that Cape Cod Hall of Fame rank for you personally in your accomplishments?
It's good because it's amazing. First of all, I got inducted with Joey Cora. He's coaching in the big leagues right now, and Alex Cora is his brother.
Okay.
So we're inducted at the same time. So you kind of look at the caliber, and it's not everybody's getting inducted. You really had to have done something.
Well, did Gerard play in that league too?
Yeah, Joe was.
Yeah. So that's pretty good competition right there too.
It's unbelievable. It was the best, and it still is the premier summer league for baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everybody has gone through the Cape. It's such a great summer.
That's pretty cool, and it's beautiful out there too. And you went and got inducted during the fall, didn't you?
It was at the fall. We stayed at the Bardstown Inn right there right on the ocean.
Okay.
It was gorgeous. They took care of us. They gave us rings. I got another championship ring from them. Yeah.
Nice.
It was first class, and I still I have a lifetime invitation the rest of my life to attend the Hall of Fame induction.
God,
I'm on the plaque on the wall in Hyannisport.
That's so super cool.
Yeah.
And just getting out there during the middle of fall, I hear, is just beautiful.
It's unbelievable. The Cape is so many fond memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So you actually spent about 6 years in playing baseball across the minor leagues, and
12 years professionally, parts of 6 Japan at the major league level. So I actually just had a conversation with a gal that's going to buy a house who just accepted her offer. She's from Charlotte, and no matter who I talk to, I played in your town. I go, did you go see the Charlotte Knights? She goes, oh my God, I love the Charlotte. How do you know? I go, I used to be a professional scout. I scouted the AAA team there. And I go, you're from Pensacola. How about those Wahoos? You know the Wahoos? I go, yeah, beautiful ballpark right there on the Gulf, isn't it? And so my broker was with me at one of these events in Las Vegas, and he goes, you know everybody. You've got a story from everybody's town. And I go, I guess I do, don't I? He goes, you're going to be good in real estate. You're a good networker. I go, we call this bullshitting in the clubhouse.
So when you got up to that level right after college, what was the biggest adjustment you feel you had to make turning pro?
Consistently. Well, like I said, everybody's got a level. Every time first of all, I sign, I go play A-ball in Beloit, Wisconsin, and only half a season left, and it's the first time I hit under 300, and I don't know how long, and it was a shock. But then you realize, well, it's pretty hard to hit 300 in baseball at that level. So I went back to Beloit the next year and ended up hitting 306. So it was easy. Next level, high A-ball, all-star, 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 all-star. So now I get a call up, and now that's when I think, what did I face? Guthrie?
Yeah, Mark Guthrie.
It's like, okay, these guys don't make very many mistakes. And I got a big hole right about here. I got a hole down and away. And they just boop, boop. That was it. They were so consistent that I needed to tighten up my game. So there you go. You're back down in AAA the next year. So it was just that being able to stick and stay. And there's a saying, it's hard to get to the big leagues. It's harder to stay.
I suppose.
Yeah. Because it's
just one wrong bounce, one just bad at bat.
Well, just a long season of consistency. Yeah. And I think that's kind of parlayed into real estate. Like, it's been a slow year for me. Yeah. I've got deals I'm working, but you got to remember, it's a 162-game season at the big leagues.
Yeah.
Just stay consistent. Have a good system. I say take my bucket of balls every day, work on my swing, because you're going to get a chance. And you're going to start squaring them up, and you're going to start seeing the results. And right now, the second half, I'm queued up to where it's going to be a great second half. But if I didn't have that, just believe in the system. Just believe in yourself, believe in your process, you'll be fine.
I love how you just talked about consistency and just actually give me a chance.
Yeah.
And I can be there for you.
Yeah.
No doubt. So take us back to 1990. I even got down the date. September 3rd. You're 25 years old. You were making a major league debut against our Minnesota Twins.
Oh, yeah.
And what do you remember about that day?
Well, the tough part was I got called up in like mid-August. It was an early call-up, and they just kept me up there because they're going to call me up in September anyway. B.J. Surhoff got into a brawl. He got suspended. So they needed a catcher to back up Charlie O'Brien at the time. So they just called me up and like stay. I didn't play for 2 weeks. So I go from playing every day, consistency. I'm sitting the bench. It got to where the reporters were coming up to me. Are you ever going to play? Like, when are we going to put you in the lineup? And I go, I don't know, but I'm sure you'll know before I do. But it was tough. It's like, what's going on? I'm not playing. So finally, I get a chance to play, and it's against the Twins. And I'm like, oh my God, everybody's going to be watching at home. So they give me the scouting book and take it home. And I mean, they just made it so daunting. Now looking back, it's just like baseball. I mean, what the hell is a big deal? Up and in, down and away, go soft, go hard. So I was a mess before the game started. And we're the home team, so first inning, here we go. Mark Knudsen's on the mound. Ball 4, base hit, bases loaded, nobody out. Oh, my God. I put down a slider. He gets crossed up. He throws a fastball. I go to block it, hits me in the stomach, or as Bob Uecker would say, Maxwell takes one to the boiler. It's like, this cannot get any worse, Runs are scoring, guys are stealing. I'm throwing balls in the left field. Like, oh my God! And
it's like the longest inning for a catcher. They're just like, get me out of here.
My first major league game, and even Uecker's like, probably not the game Maxwell wanted to start with in his career. And then Guthrie just was spot on. It's bow, bow, bow. And it was frustrating because it just looks like it's right there. And that's when I realized, oh God, these big leaguers, they're different. They throw different.
It's incredible.
So it wasn't the greatest first outing for me at the major league level.
But 3 weeks later, you come back on September 28th, and your first major league hit against the Yankees. Tell us what that was all about, because it's pretty cool to do what you did for a first hit.
My first hit, although it was my 5th at bat, because I went 0 for 4 against Guthrie, you'd love to say your first at bat was a home run. So anyway, my first hit was, I'm out in the bullpen, warming up to the pitchers. It's raining, it's cold. We're getting beat by the Yankees. They decide Robin has had enough. We don't want Robin Yount to get hurt. They ring, Mac, you're hitting for Robin. I'm looking, I go, well, he's on deck right now. So I got to quick take my gear off, throw it in my bag. They open up the big doors out there in County Stadium in Milwaukee. I got to run along the fence all the way down. The whole stadium's waiting for me. And drop my bag. I got to find my batting gloves. I still have dreams where I can't find my bat and my bat. I mean, where's my stuff?
That's a nightmare.
Umpire, I look out and the umpire's giving me the, let's go, kid. Let's go, rookie. So anyway, I get out there. I'm sucking air. I'm tired. He should have just kept pounding fastballs because I was nowhere near being able to catch up to anything. Second pitch throws me a changeup. Pow. I knew I got it. I bolt out of the box. Take first base a little too quick because it's been raining. I slip, catch myself. My helmet almost hits Mattingly, who does this. Sprint around the bases, and Dave Parker's on deck, and we're going to high five. And Dave Parker's a big man. I got to jump up and umpire him, and the guys in the dugout are telling me I'm getting a standing ovation. So I get up on the top deck, and I'm waiting. Nobody's standing. And then I look in the dugout, everybody's laughing. I'm like, son of a gun. So they got me. Funny part, though, is after the game, Uecker comes in the clubhouse and says, what the hell's going on? We're getting our asses kicked by the Yankees, and Maxwell's taking a standing O. I almost swore on the air for the first time in my career. Did Johnny Adams put him up to that? So that was my first hit, and that did not go away for years. I mean, the guys would come out at early. We'd go off for early BP, and people would walk up the stairs and go. But I wasn't. There were a couple guys that they got with that. That was always the thing. Is the guy's first home run is convince him he's getting a standing out. No standing out. But in my head, I'm thinking, I'm from Minnesota. People from Wisconsin know me. Oh my God!
They must love me.
They love me. So very embarrassing.
So during that chapter in your life playing pro ball, one of the things that you got to do which was super cool, was go play in Japan for a year.
Yeah, and well, it's supposed to be 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Did you play 2 seasons or just one season?
I can explain that.
Okay.
All right. So in '94, I played the first year the Twins were in Salt Lake City. And if you remember, that was a strike year. So I'm having my best year ever. I mean, I went from being a prospect, now I'm now I'm not on the 40-man roster anymore. You go from prospect to suspect. So now I'm the guy that's going to start bouncing around. So go to Salt Lake City. I'm on the AAA team. I'm not playing right away. I had my knee needed surgery in spring training. So here we go again. But when I got healthy, I started playing. I mean, there was the 1 year that I couldn't miss the ball. I mean, I could not miss the ball. I'm having my best year ever. It's unbelievable. Well, thankfully, because I didn't get the call up because of the strike, Japan was watching. So they thought I was a big home run hitter because I hit 5 home runs in 2 days in Albuquerque where the ball just flies. So they thought they were getting a big power hitter, home run hitter. So anyway, my agent calls me and said, konnichiwa, Mac, time to learn some Japanese. I went over there. It was great, but I was struggling because it was tough. You want to please them and do things their way, but they do things differently than we're used to doing. And I was exhausted. It was tough because they are animals. So I wasn't hitting the home runs they thought. So they decided to, buy me out. And I said, no. I said, I can't make this kind of money in back in the States. I said, I agreed to give you, I used their philosophy. I promised to give you the best that I have, and I will do that. You promised me. And they were like, son of a gun. And they did. They tried to send me to the minor leagues, which would have been tough because that's like boot camp. That's like war.
Really?
I did 1 day of that. That's where when you see the people with the boards getting pushed on the subway. That's how I had to get to the field with the regular people going to work. Yeah, it was tough. Thankfully, I caught wind of who they were replacing me with, and it was Bernardo Brito, who was my teammate the year before with the Twins, and it actually ended up being great. They paid me my full 2 years, so I got the rest of that year, the next year. Bernie came out, hit all the home runs they wanted. Everybody won. It actually worked great, but they nicknamed me the last great American train robber because I robbed a bank. So it was a great experience, and I still can follow and keep in touch with my interpreter back in the day, who ended up being the GM for the Nippon Ham Fighters, where Otani came from. Wow. So it's fun to be able to follow people on social media, and but Toshi was a great interpreter. So it was a great experience.
Yeah, and the culture, the food, different from here, or?
Totally different. And I was still a Midwest guy. I didn't appreciate sushi. I wasn't going to eat that. Yeah. So I wasn't ready for that. It was when I went back years later as a civilian for a whole different thing that I saw the discipline and appreciated the discipline, not like, what are you guys doing? Taking 500 ground balls, take 10 good ones and call it a day. But now I'm seeing the discipline, scraping the gum off the sidewalks and just that little stuff, and then kind of applying that to, you do those little things every day, they get them out to big things. So yeah, I learned a lot from being over there in their culture.
They like Atomic Habits. I don't know if you've read that book yet. That's
James Clear.
Yeah. That's really about that kind of work ethic, right? Like, just make sure you're lining up the details. And I'm not always the biggest details guy, but once I started learning that, that's really helped.
Yeah, the little things make a big deal.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. How cool was it to room with Mariano Rivera at the beginning of his amazing career?
It wasn't when I first got to the hotel in Minneapolis when I got called up from Columbus AAA. First of all, I didn't know him. I was mad I had a roommate because the year before in Montreal, I'm a big leaguer. I got my own room. I'm with the Yankees and I got to have a roommate? I thought those days were behind me. They know who I am. So he locked the door on the inside. I don't know why. Who locks the door from the inside? But a key should let you in.
Yeah. Or he's Panamanian?
He's from Panama.
Yeah.
So I had to call security, and they come up and they let me in. And he's getting out of the shower, skinny, hey bro, like, dude, you locked me out. So I told you I go to the ballpark in Minnesota, the Dome, and I'm talking to the guys that I knew in the bullpen because I spent all of spring training in '86. I'm like, who's this Mariano guy? And they said, it's Mariano. He's a prospect. It's like top prospect. I don't remember. Was he in big league camp? They're laughing at me like, yeah. I go, he doesn't say anything. He's just like a church mouse. So obviously we became roommates because we roomed back when we got to New York, and we shared a hotel for a couple weeks. And I was there when he had his first outing to where I went, okay, there's something different here with this guy. He's amazing.
That's pretty.
And he's a great person.
Well, he was a really nice guy.
Even now when I was scouting a couple years back, maybe 8 years ago, covering the Yankees in spring training. He's doing an interview on the field, and I can yell down there, "Hey, Roomie," and he'd turn around, "Roomie." So, and Pettit and Jeter and all those guys were that way when I was scouting with the Yankees. They'd come up to me. You always think, are they going to remember me? I was only there 2 months in the big league. They'd come up, put their arm around me. Anything you need, Mac. We're all family. I mean, it was just a great experience working with the Yankees.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, if there's any team that I would have loved to have been a part of, it would have been the Yankees. All the history, all the just what they stand for, right?
Oh, you walk around the spring training clubhouse and then the Yankee clubhouse. I got to play in old Yankee Stadium, but you see the pictures and the sayings all up on the walls. I mean, it's like, oh my God, I'm so proud to be a Yankee.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've had really good experience. I mean, just to even be on the same team with Robin Yount. How was he? What was he like?
He was like a gunslinger. He just was like a cowboy, but he could do anything. They say he could have played pro tennis. He could have played pro golf.
Oh, he's that big.
Yeah, he's just a nice. Yeah,
I heard
nice guy. He has a squeaky little voice, and
I heard the story that he got his gold glove. His gold gloves that he wins the awards. Yeah. It's like sitting in his closet. He doesn't display them out. And when they tried to call him to tell him, hey, you won the whatever, your 6th Golden Glove or whatever, back then they didn't have cell phones, and apparently they left a message on his recorder 5 times, and then he finally got back to him. They go, yeah, where have you been? We've been trying to get a hold of you. He goes, I was out getting groceries 2 days before you responded to it. So I guess he's a down-to-earth guy.
Super down-to-earth guy, great guy. And Paul wanted, we're going to go, I want a World Series, Molitor. And Robin, people always said, Robin, why didn't you, go play for another club where you could get a World Series ring? And he goes, this is where my family's my home. And I think he still works with the organization.
Yeah.
He's still there. He was just that kind of guy. He goes, I don't need that stuff. I just want to stay here. Yeah. At least that's the story I got. In case Paul Molitor's listening.
So when your playing career kind of ended, and how did you make that transition from being evaluated as a player to evaluating the players as a scout?
Well, scouting didn't happen right away. I got done, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I spent the summer down Southern California. I did commercial real estate. I had no idea. I mean, I didn't have a plan. Now they have career summit days for these guys getting ready to retire at the end of their careers, and I actually got to speak at it last fall for the Major League alumni. So it was kind of fun to give back, but to see these kids are so young, but they're I was there. They're old. Yeah. They're at the end. I didn't know what I wanted to do. We didn't have workshops. I didn't know. But in my mind, it's life's been easy up till now. I do whatever I want. I do commercial real estate. Well, that didn't work out so well. Then I tried to go back to school, and I didn't like school. I don't want to do that. And I was a stay-home dad for a while because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. And then just one day, I talked to my old mentor. He said, just call somebody at the Yankees that you still know and tell them, hey, listen, I'm not ready yet, but I think I might want to get back in the game. It just so happened somebody saw my name on a sticky note and said, when he calls back to talk to so-and-so, have him page through to me. And that was Lynn Garrett. And he said, what are you doing? And I said, going to get my hair cut. And he goes, no, I don't mean right now. What are you doing for a living? I go, I'm the International Man of Leisure, West Coast representative. He goes, I might have a job for you. I go, I don't want a job. He says, I have a stack of 100 guys that want to be a scout. You say yes, you go straight to the top. Are you still on the West Coast? I go, yeah. He goes, where are you living? I go, Stockton. He starts laughing. I go, what's so funny? He goes, that's what we're looking for. We need somebody that can cover Northern Cal, Northern Nevada, and the Pacific Northwest. I go, I don't know if I want to do this. So, but anyway, and then he said, and you get the health insurance. And I went, okay, I'll do it. Because, when you get out of baseball, you don't realize who's paying your insurance.
Yeah.
So I took the job, and I did that for 3 years, and I got back into the groove. But again, it's that imposter syndrome. Do I know what I'm doing? I mean, I know what I thought was easy or what to do. So now I'm evaluating high school kids, and they're not very good. I mean, for example, Aaron Judge, I said he should go to college, which he did. Yeah. But I didn't know he's going to be the next Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
But a lot of us missed out. But it's hard to evaluate because it's you got to look into the future. So it was hard. So what you do is you kind of draw on your experiences, and what worked for me, and do I see this in this kid? And a lot of times you watch a kid, not what he does after he hits a home run. What does he do after he strikes out?
Oh, I suppose the
teammates come up
mentality.
to him. No, like this guy there. No, teammates, they don't even come up and pat him on the ass. They don't like him. He's a bad teammate. So there's a lot of things you can get by watching failure. So
That's pretty odd. That's a
so
great
it was
thing
always
to
a
do.
learning experience at some of the times.
And learning people's psychology.
Yeah, or old school, like an old school scout, Jethro McIntyre from Oakland. I told him I really like this little Hawaiian kid that's playing for American River College. And he goes, Timmy, he's short. He's already chubby. You ever seen a Hawaiian get skinny? I said, you can't say that. He goes, I'm black. I can too. But I always remembered that, certain guys don't get skinny.
So, life after baseball and the reinvention of that, athletes tend to struggle because they lose their identity, right? Because that's what they've kind of done all their life. Like, this is who I am. But you had to make a different transition all of a sudden. How difficult was that transition for you personally?
I think it was a little easier for me than a lot of the guys that got let go in the scouting world just because of analytics. Because when I was scouting for the Yankees, we were covering, this was the year we won the World Series in 90, no, was it 2000? I think it was 2000, the first year. But anyway, yeah, it was 2000, it was my first year scouting. Chuck Cottier, everybody knows if you're in the baseball world, Chuck Cottier was a scout for the Yankees at the time. And we were all celebrating back at the hotel because Booney just hit the home run to take us to the next round. And he goes, if you worked for me, you'd scare me, because Chuck used to be a scouting director. And I go, why is that? And he goes, you got too much on your plate. Don't forget what you are. And I go, what am I? He goes, you're a baseball guy. And I go, no, I'm not. I can do whatever I want. So I felt like, wait a minute. No, I don't want to be pigeonholed into this as I'm one-dimensional. I said, there's all kinds of things. Like if I wanted to be a chef, I could be a chef. If I wanted, and I tried to be a winemaker, I could be a winemaker, which I did for 2 years, and it's not that easy. But I took offense to that. And I'm like, no, I can do other things. So I thought I'm going to go do that. So I did. I went out and I tried to be a winemaker. And then after that, I tried to do this. And that's when I realized, I don't know what I want to do. Chuck was right. And that's when I called the Yankees. But because I found out, okay, I can be, but where's my heart? And it wasn't in being a winemaker, and I realized, I missed the game.
Yeah.
And that's so when I got back, and just as I thought I'm going to breeze into retirement, COVID, analytics, like, God damn it, now I got to do it again. And I think you had mentioned earlier when we started this, you're a real renaissance man. You've reinvented yourself. I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. I don't want to do it. But this time, the job that I didn't want or the profession that I wasn't looking for was at the right time. And it took me 3 years to realize that, because don't think I wasn't looking in the rear view going, baseball, please come back. Please come back. I need my 1st and the 15th back. I need my meal money. People are like, what's that 1st and 15th mean? You get paydays. You don't get paydays in real estate.
Yeah.
But it kind of prepared me for this new career in real estate. So I don't know if that makes sense. If I kind of
No, it makes a lot of sense because, kind of like you said, though.
But I've got a lot of buddies that all they did was baseball, and they were one-dimensional, and they've still are having a heck of a time. You lose your insurance, and they don't know what else to do. You're going to drive a school bus, driving a garbage truck, and those are examples that are happening. And I just feel bad that they didn't have the tenacity. Not saying tenacity, it's just they didn't know what to do.
You only know what you know.
And I got to speak to that to these young kids last fall and say, boys, you don't understand. You're hardwired for anything you want to do. You just got to figure out what it is. We work hard. We've got the work ethic. We know what it's like to show up. We know what it's like to work with others. And we know what it's like to be responsible, because we're responsible for our own gift. So anyway, I pump these kids up, and they're like, I never thought about real estate. And I go, you'd be surprised. Every transaction is like another pitcher. Just so you think it's coming right down the middle. Nope, that was a slider.
Because it's a lot of, I feel like when you're at that level and you kind of have your identity kind of embedded in you, it's really emotional to have that taken away.
Yeah. Well, and that was we had some speakers, and it had to do with mental health. And there were some big name guys that you've heard of. They were World Series champions. Their whole life as a kid, I want to win the World Series. And one of them said he's sitting there watching his teammates celebrate, and he just started crying, going, now what? Well, now what do I do? And I said later that year he almost committed suicide because he just didn't have a goal. And so they talked about, you guys, every year, what is your scoreboard? Who's your team? Who's your tribe? You got to have goals. You got to have an idea. And the goals change. So, I once said I want to make $1 million in baseball. Well, guess what? I should have shot a little higher because, Japan brought that to fruition. But right after I made it, it was like, now what? I want to play in the big leagues. I should have said, I want to play 10 years in the big leagues.
Yeah.
So, goal setting and all of that. So,
and being very specific of your goals.
Very specific.
Not just going, I want to play approximately 10 years.
Yeah.
Like you want to go, I want to play 10 years. I want to play like whatever amount of games was at 164 times 10. Those are the amount of games I'm going to get in. So you're just very specific.
Yeah.
Right?
Set goals and, challenge yourself and know you can change your goals.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I do is you talked me into getting a business coach. So I just had my coaching call before this, and I told him, I said, I think I come up with a new thing. I said, I'm going to put the real in realtor. Because when you deal with me, you're going to get the real truth.
Yeah.
I used to say, you want to fish in my pond of truth, be careful. You might catch something you don't want.
Yeah. I like that line.
But, and then again, an agent told me, he goes, I really appreciate your transparency. And I go, that's just something I wish I would have had in baseball because, can you just tell me, am I on the team or not?
Right.
I said, so I've applied that to real estate. And then, you know what? We just want what's best for our clients. Why am I going to lie to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
What made you go, I'm going to do real estate? Because right after that.
John Anderson.
Did he?
I mean, what do you do when you're 56 years old, you lose your career, and you don't know what to do? You call your college coach.
Yeah.
John was still at the University of Minnesota, and I knew he knew some of the people with the Twins. And I'm like, John, can you make some phone calls for me? And he did. And they just said, we're not hiring. And if we are, we're not hiring old, we're hiring young. So John goes, talk to Jan. Jan's John's wife. And she was working in real estate at Fazend. So I talked to Jan, and Jan said, you know what, you'd probably be good at this. I go, I don't want to do real estate again. I did it when I got out of baseball the first time. So she talked me into going in and talking to Andy Fazenden, and we hit it off. And he's like, you know what, you'd be good at this. So I said, you know what, I'll get my license. So that was September. October I started studying. By November I had my license. And December I was at a place to sit. And I got into it, and it was 6 months before I got my first deal, and it was lonely. But the joke is the Andersons have been taking care of me since high school.
Nice, but they really have been. But it was up to you to get that opportunity, like you talked about.
Yeah,
and really prove it.
Jan gave me an opportunity to go talk to Andy, and now Jan and I both are over at Edina Realty right now, and so we kind of partner up and help each other. So, good teammate.
What lessons do you feel like professional baseball do you use most often to help buyers and sellers?
I think you got to have a good system. I mean, right now I've got a bunch of listings going, and you can lose the details in a heartbeat if you don't have a good system. And because they're expecting you. If I'm going to tell people I'm a major league realtor delivering big league results, I can't screw up. And they got to be a pro, and I'm going to give you a white glove service. So I've got my daily task list, and again, go to the ballpark. You got to go to the office. You got to go to the park. Have a good routine. Have your system. Don't get so busy in what you're doing as far as a listing or buyer. Write your personal notes and stick to the basics, the stuff you can control. You can control your attitude, your work ethic. I think I've just taken all those little things that help me. I call it my bucket of balls. As long as I take my bucket of balls every day, I'm going to be ready when the time comes. And it was this first part of this year. It was almost like when you go to the airport after not flying for 6 months. Like, oh my God, I got a listing. I don't remember how to do this. You're waking me up in the middle of the night because they've become friends. When this happens, they become a referral becomes a friend, and that's the thing I love about my career is I'm making personal relationships for life, and you don't want to screw up.
Right.
What if I don't get them the deal they want? What if we don't sell this and they can't move into that new home? So I tend to take it a little bit personal, but that's when I got to pull back and say, just calm down. It's going to be fine. Just relax. And sure enough, it's like just working a knot. You can't pull it. Just let it. It'll be fine. So I don't know if that answered your question, but I take all of these baseball things and apply them.
Because that's what culminated to what makes you special today as the difference maker, right? Because I feel like the one thing that I feel like you have also done throughout your career is like negotiated and competed, throughout your baseball career, right? Like,
Yeah,
you
I think.
negotiated a lot of stuff.
Well, and I think you're right because you don't think about it as that way. You look at is how am I going to convince? I convinced the Yankees to bring me back to big league camp as a catcher after I'd been out for a year and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
That's negotiation.
Yeah, and I convinced my old scouting director to give me my job back in Northern California. Like, come on, who else is going to know the area? Like, come on. So without knowing it, I guess again, I got that through sports, where it used to drive my kids crazy. Dad, baseball's not a metaphor for life. Like, yeah, it is.
It kind of is sometimes. I mean, my kid hears it from me all the time. I mean, I feel like that's what helps advocate for your clients during real estate transactions. Like,
Yeah.
being able to negotiate. Like, it isn't just showing you a house and walking away and taking your fee. I mean, it's more work than what people think.
Well, and sure, am I mad at analytics? Yeah, I'm mad at analytics. It took my career, but if I don't use analytics, how am I going to know the absorption rate, or how am I not going to know how many days on market? And then now with AI, I'm loving digging into that and taking all those tools because they're making me a better agent.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So I used a little bit, not like baseball. I don't use all analytics. You still got to use the human element.
Yeah.
People still want a personal touch, and they want to know that someone's on the other line. But you got to use it all. They're all tools.
But even AI, you have to be able to know what to input for that tool to make it actually to work for you.
Yep, you got to have good parameters, good inputs. You got to have the guardrails on. Otherwise, it'll take you all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the biggest mistake you see buyers or sellers right now making before they hire a realtor?
Not hiring a professional. Now that I'm at where I'm at, I see the difference. And it's like baseball. I think Bob Costas says that, you get to the mid-season, you find out who the pretenders are and who the contenders are. Because it's a long process, and you got to be a pro all the way through. All the way from, did you take the pictures with your iPhone because you were trying to save money and you left yourself in the reflection in the mirror? I mean, all those things. You didn't pick up the clothes before showing. I just did one today. It's like, did they not know people were coming to look at the house and you want $500,000?
Yeah.
So there's plenty of 90%ers out there. That's why I like to say, I got my certification. I'm a certified full-service professional, and I pride myself on that. White glove service. If I'm going to say I'm going to give you a major league service, I'm going to deliver that. And that's where I think they make the mistake is they got their mom's friend, someone to help my parents, my brother's buddy. You just hire somebody. Everybody knows 7, 8 real estate agents. And here's the other thing is like when we have our relocation department, sometimes you got to know what's the person like, Put Mac with a sports guy, they'll hit it off. And that actually happened with a relo from the Mortensen Company. His job when we met and I helped him buy a house, he was working on the facade at the new ballpark in Las Vegas. Now he's working on the Arizona Cardinals practice facility. But we hit it off, and we're friends. So I think you just got to hire the right person that understands your needs. And what's great is if I get somebody that's analytical, I can give them the analytics. I got someone that likes to party and have fun. Well, we can meet at happy hour. I got somebody that senior. I'm a certified senior. I can help people, my mom's friends, transitioning from the home they've lived in into senior care. Yep. The joke is that if she's over 80, I'm Grady. Lady over 80 is my client. But I think it's because I was so close with my grandma, my grandparents, is I get it. And I take the time and the patience. And it's not a quick game. It's slow. Just be patient, let it develop, let it happen. Because something's going to happen to where all of a sudden they're going to need to move. And it's kind of nice knowing you helped somebody that all the kids moved away and nobody's here to help them.
That is really rewarding.
Yeah. So, I guess I'm a utility player, aren't I? I help first-time buyers. I help downsizers. I help my buddies who can't climb stairs anymore. They need a patio home.
Yeah. And, the one thing I got to tell you, Tim, that I really admire about you is that you really, truly value relationships over transactions. I can tell that as we've had developed this relationship over past years and then coming back to even reconnect. I've really realized that is like really important to you over transaction more than anything else. So why is trust so important in your business?
I think it kind of goes back to my grandpa saying, at the end of the day, your name's on it, good or bad. Your name's on it. What do you want people to say? I had a manager, Tony Muser. I was one of those, again, you follow the wrong crowd. I was listening to the wrong people. I'm in AAA Denver, and I thought I should be in the big leagues. Guys are getting called up, why aren't I? So I started dogging it, not running hard, and Tony Muser calls me into his office, and Tony was old Jimmy Leland, like that mold. And Muse was hard, and he aired me out. He just I had my choice. You'd be out of here. You wouldn't even be in this organization. They won't let me touch you. You're a prospect, isn't that? But what I can do is I can take your playing time away. You're not playing until I say so. And I sat in the bullpen, and I just watched my teammates play. It was the biggest lesson, and I thought, oh, my God. But during that meeting, I saw Tony tearing up. He says, you don't know the ability you have, and you're wasting it. Again, a mentor, somebody that needed to be there at the right time. And it woke me up. And I thought, he says, let me tell you this. You're going to go to an alumni game, and you're going to be getting out of your car at that hotel entry. And do you want guys getting out of the cab next to you go, there's Tim McIntosh. God, he was a hard player. Yeah, I couldn't get him out. I just freaking love the way he played. Or you want him to go, there's that jerk McIntosh. God, he was just a baby. And this. Can I be the first guy? Yes. But he put it in a way, it's like, yeah. But I think the greatest thing is he said, life's like a steamroller. The baseball game is like a steamroller. The minute you stop to wave and think people are there to see you, steamroller run you over. And the guy driving it doesn't turn around to see if you pop back up because he doesn't care because somebody else did and took your spot. Whoop. Wow. So that's the kind of stuff I say, what kind of real estate agent do I want to be? Do I want to be the guy that people say, you won't believe this guy. He sent me boxes with his name and face on it. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of fun to be good at something again, and now I want to see how far can I take it until I decide I want to slow down. Because right now, it's fun being good at something again.
That's a really good attitude, Hat. I love that. One of my follow-up questions with the real estate is, too, if you were buying or selling a home today, your own home, what qualities would you really want in your realtor?
Do you care about me? Can I trust you? And are you good at what you do? And they can check, what you've done. They can go and see transactions and what you've done. And that's the tough part when I first started out. First house I sold was up in Sartell. It was my buddy Harlan, who I've known since kindergarten. And it wasn't until after the transaction. And by the way, I told him to list it at 5 1/4. We got exactly 5 1/4. And in the second day, I said to Jenny, his wife, I go, God, I was kind of nervous. That was my first transaction. She goes, are you kidding me? We were your first transaction? You made us your first transaction? She goes, I would have never have known. And I go, I know. It's I have professional people around me. When I didn't know, I could ask. Yeah. I said, but I made sure I was on top of everything. So, are you kidding me? But yeah, I just want people to say, God, like you say that, I remember you hit that ball out of the freaking stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do. I want to hit it out of the park every time, but I also know sometimes it's just one after the other. Little hits.
Yeah.
And just keep grinding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those are really good.
I've been known to rake leaves, 20 bags of wet leaves. So I cut grass.
Well,
because some people, they're up at the cabin and the house is going active that weekend, and it's like, I'll cut the grass. So I go cut the grass. All those little things. The saying, you give it out in slices, it comes back in loaves.
Yes.
I like being a giver.
What a great, say that again.
You give it out in slices and it comes back in loaves.
Yes, that is such a giver's gain mentality.
And that's how I call you. I need your help. And I say, what, they're a little money sensitive. Tell you what, Tim, here's what I can do. And then there'll be times where, maybe we split the cost. But it's going to come back.
Yeah. You create the win-win and, like anything else.
Yeah. And I love doing that. Just give.
Yeah. And that's what separates a realtor, right? Like I feel like that's the realtor you want. I want the guy who isn't always about the transaction. I want the relationship first, and I want to really help you get to where
I've had my broker get mad at me. He's like, you don't have to do that. And I go, you know what? It's important to me. This is important. Let me do this.
Wow. Well, with that, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back really shortly here.
Sweet.
At Twin City Tales Podcast, we believe in strong communities are built by people and organizations willing to care for others. That's why we are proud to support Hammer and NER, an incredible Minnesota nonprofit helping adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities live life to the fullest. Their work creates opportunity, dignity, independence, and connection right here in our community. If you'd like to help, Hammer and NER is always looking for volunteers, advocates, and donations to continue their mission. I am one of those people that highly help that community out. Learn more, get involved, or give back at hammer.org. Together, we can continue building a stronger, more compassionate community for everyone. Ever walk into a house and flip a switch and have no idea what it actually does? Like, is it a light, an outlet, or something in the garage? Nobody knows. Or what about when you plug in something into an outlet and it just slowly falls out like it's giving up on life? Or worse, the outlet just doesn't work at all. Well, we see that stuff every day. At Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric, we help homeowners take care of those small electrical issues before they turn into bigger problems. Loose outlets, dead plugs, mystery switches, we'll track it down, fix it right, and make your home actually work the way it's supposed to. So if something feels off electrically, it probably is. Twin Sea Heating, Air, and Electric, built here, stays here, feel the difference. Before we jump back into my conversation with Tim, I've got a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying Twin Sea Tales, please take a moment to hit that subscribe or follow button. It helps us share these incredible stories with more people throughout the Twin Cities and beyond. And if you've really enjoyed an episode, learned something new, or been inspired by one of our guests, such as Tim, we greatly appreciate a rating or a review. It only takes a minute, but it helps others discover the show. You can find us on Twin Sea Tales on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere where you enjoy your favorite podcast. And don't forget to follow Twin Sea Tales on Facebook for behind-the-scenes content, upcoming guests, episode highlights, and more stories from around our community. Most importantly, thank you. This podcast is built around celebrating the people who make a difference: business leaders, community champions, entrepreneurs, athletes, and everyday people with extraordinary stories to tell. Your support allows us to continue sharing these stories. Now let's get back into the conversation with Tim. And remember, life is too short for bad stories, bad coffee, and even bad service. And remember, you can't go wrong with Wymond Wong. Tim, we're back. And so, who is someone that you would love to hear and see on this podcast, and why?
Well, who I mentioned has been in my life my whole life, John Anderson. And I learned so much about John, who's like a big brother to me, and we've had a special relationship since I played for him. When he was out at the Cape, and I heard him talking about his career, how he started with the people that were with the Chatham team that I was with, and sharing how when he coached, he didn't get paid, and he worked at DHL, I think, at the airport, and his family's pulling on him to go back up to the Iron Range and go back to work for the family business, and what he went through. And he's got so many fascinating stories, but he played with Paul Mauter in college, and he mentored Danny Wilson, who's the manager for Seattle, and he's got so many stories. He knows so many people. He just got inducted to, I forget what it is, another Hall of Fame. He is Minnesota sports, Minnesota baseball. Our old scoreboard is out in Hamel, and they use it out there. And he's touched everybody's lives in this state. Everybody knows John Anderson.
And especially being at the University of Minnesota for that many years.
Yeah.
I think I was there at the football game, actually, that Anthony took me to, that they kind of gave him a celebration at that game. So.
Yeah, and John's still involved. Him and Jan, they go down. I mean, they still enjoy some of the parents are still there. But not too many, because they don't have the loyalty. The players come and go. There's this portal, they're in and they're out and they're gone for a year. John could talk to that. But here's an example of John Anderson and the lives he's touched, and kind of why I like doing what I'm doing is because it's all about relationships. We just lost a second baseman from our team that we won the Big Ten championship, Danny Kiki Van de Hey. He talked about a town ball. He's probably the best second baseman ever played town ball in the state of Minnesota. He just passed away. So he'd been struggling. And so here we all are years later. How many years since 1986? We're all on a thread the last couple of days, even this morning. And we're just, paying tributes to Danny. And John had a beautiful long thread. And we're all like, it's unbelievable. And I said, this doesn't happen anymore, guys. These kids don't have relationships. They play 1 year. They don't have teammates that they keep their relationships going for life. So John would be a great person to have on the show.
I would love to just see that. I think I'll have to. Well, I hope I can get a connection through you, and I know he's probably a pretty popular guy to try and get on. But
pretty convincing. If I can talk him into not redshirting me, I can talk him into doing it.
Yes, you're a negotiator, man, and that's what you need on a good realtor to negotiate.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, and he's kind of shaped me. Ask him the story about when I used to call him Collect.
Only you, Tim.
I can't believe I called him Collect. I mean, he signed a big third-round bonus, and I'm calling John Collect. Can you have Paul Molitor send me some shoes?
And he's taking the call.
Collect call from Tim McIntosh. I'll take it.
Oh, that's funny. That's fantastic. So we're going to jump into our picture portion. And I actually have a surprise for you on the picture portion.
Okay.
And so I'll show you the first picture, and you got to kind of just tell me like what emotions come out and what you really think of it, right?
All right. So I'm looking up here.
Nope, I've got it on here. I don't want you to cheat.
All right.
All right.
Well, if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
That's right. That's right. What a great baseball line.
Oh, boy. Look at that. Look at that. Boy, did he think he had it going on there. What did I do that I'm like smiling going, they'll never know it was me?
You had that feathered hair look, 1981, our sophomore year.
Yeah.
How fun was the year fun for you, or did you feel like, God, it was like, I felt it was hectic sometimes.
So you got to remember, I'm only a year and a half into moving from Brooklyn Center to Hopkins.
Yeah.
So I get to Hopkins, I've got a year and a half of my North Junior High friends.
Because we were on North together.
But now we go into high school, and now I've got those are the friends that played more sports. So I mean, it was like I was constantly getting to know new people.
Yeah.
But the thing that connected me was baseball.
Yeah.
I think that's the year 10th grade. I remember Coach Ronholm.
Yeah.
Alfred wants McIntosh in the big league or on the high school, the senior field, and everybody was like, You're going to the big leagues.
I got another one for you. I'd love to get your reaction of.
There she is. See, she's not going to like that.
No.
But here's what's funny is we all ran in the same group.
Yeah.
We were friends.
Yeah.
We're married.
Yeah. But you never thought that back then, which is really cool.
No, but we hung out. We did everything. We did everything together. We were like a posse of all of us friends. And when I got married to my first wife, she was in the travel business. She put the travel together for everybody.
Yeah.
So when we got married in Las Vegas by the Elvis impersonator at the little white chapel, I looked at her and I go, "You've been to both my weddings." That didn't go over well. No, she laughed.
Oh, that is kind of funny. I didn't know that she planned your first travel for your first
Well, yeah,
wedding.
she flew out all the boys, all the guys we ran with,
That's pretty cool.
I mean, she was running the show back then. She only had a real job.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I thought this would be kind of fun because we're kind of that older generation. And we don't use AI much, but we're starting to use it as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, you didn't.
I ended up doing an AI of you from your picture that we pulled up, and that's what you're supposed to look like, according to AI.
There's way too much hair. No. Did I send you my George Washington 4th of July?
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. That does, actually kind of a little bit looks like my dad.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, just a little bit. In the eyes. He had the squinty eyes, the John Wayne eyes.
Almost Asian-like.
Well, actually, my uncle used to call me China Boy because I was always squinting.
And then this is the beautiful couple. This was when you guys went out to, when you went out and got married?
I take Buffini coaching, and we had a big seminar out there.
Okay.
And she came with me. It's one of those trips where you were just hoping Delta would call and say, "We've canceled your flight tomorrow." We had so much fun. Yeah. No, it's to the point where now she's got a house in Maui on the vision board.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
No, we needed that. That was a great event.
You guys
and you're around a lot, real estate agents with the same mindset. The same, we're here to serve. We're here to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great picture.
This was Hawaii, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's Kapalua.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Ritz-Carlton at Kapalua.
What a fun place to go.
Oh.
We were there a few years back for a wedding, and we want to go back. I think they have those boat tours where you can go island
the
hopping.
catamarans.
Yeah, and you can island hop for the week, which would be super
and
cool.
look at her. She looked great.
Yeah, I have no doubt that that's so true.
Yeah.
For you guys at that age, I feel like you guys look really good for that.
Yeah,
for
I look
where we're at.
I look like King Kamanawana.
You do. So I have this one, which I think this is really cool because I'm captioning it. I feel like that was like your first home run in the bigs, like that first at bat, and that you were like just watching that thing go out of the yard.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't. I don't remember. I should, because there weren't that many at bats. But it's not the home run because it's not raining. But yeah, I look at those freaking legs. No wonder why I can never get my jeans on. I had big thighs.
You were in great shape though back then, and you were running into a brick wall when you were playing football. You were pretty badass in high school.
There were a few of us that were built like cement trucks.
And that one was your rookie card, and you still get like your card sent to you
Every day.
to this day.
Every day.
For somebody to sign it.
I got a stack like this in my office. They take up too much space on the countertop. But yeah, if we go to Arizona for a couple months, it's like stacks.
Yeah.
How many do they print? But it's
It's
we
really an honor
joke
to go.
about it as players. It's good to be remembered. So people are still thinking about us. So it's an honor.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty awesome. And just to have your on a baseball card, right?
Yeah, and every once in a while, someone will slide a $5 in there.
enough for now. Just like a side of fries at McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
That's all you can buy with $5.
A little something. Oh, there's a good one.
Yes. Is that your first daughter?
No, that's Juliana.
That's
That's my one that just got married in the south of France last September. Yeah. Where we are, I don't know. I mean, it could be Disneyland. We were always at Disneyland. But yeah, she just got married and living in San Diego.
But
I see the polo shirt, and I know that I went to the Polo Factory outlet when we were in Toronto.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We get discounts. In baseball, they say if it's free, I'll take 3.
So, exactly. Free. Free. It's for me. I'll have 3.
Yeah.
And if there's more, I'll take 4.
Yeah. It's even better.
That's my new amendment to it.
Yeah, I like that. It works.
Let me ask you this. Like, this has to be almost like the times, the days are long sometimes, but the years are short.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like some of my pictures that I have with my kids, like at that time, like, and I don't know if that kind of outshines it, but like your Hall of Fame induction, your first hit in the baseball, in the majors, like nothing tops, like just having your firstborn or your secondborn, your kids coming in.
Yeah, no, I got another great picture. I think I was supposed to send you some, but they're sitting on the field in Columbus for fireworks, and I got both of them. So that was in '96. Juliana was just born because Joe Girardi drove me to the airport when I was in spring training because she was being born. I had to get from Tampa to California, which I did. But yeah, so that's I would see that picture and I can remember just sitting there holding both my little girls.
There's nothing like the love of a father with their kids.
Yeah.
I just feel
I just became a grandfather.
Congratulations.
Yeah, my oldest just had a little Romina Vandenbroel. That's a mouthful.
That's the name?
That's her last.
last
my
name?
son-in-law's last name. He's Dutch. Vandenbroel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Romina. So that's kind of a little Spanish flair.
Cool. So looking back, this was probably like, I'm guessing like your career where you're starting to change, where you're doing the scouting. Mm-hmm. Like, so if you can go back and have a cup of coffee with him and give him some advice, what you know now, what would that be?
To me, don't take things
yourself.
too seriously. Just have patience. My first real estate deal, we're up in Door County. They say whenever you leave town, something's going to happen. I'm up, and I'm panicking. I'm freaking out because I need this so bad. It's like choking the bat again. And it's like, oh, yeah. And the lender, he's just telling me, just relax. Just relax. It'll work out. I'm like, no, it's all going down the toilet. It's not going to work. I have learned now when it seems like things are just going sideways, just relax. Have faith. Grab a bucket. Just start bailing. We're not going to sink. We just got to just take a scoop. I'm not very patient. Talk to John Anderson about that. But and I was hard on myself. I've ever since I was young, all my coaches would say my biggest fault is I'm too hard on myself. And the same thing with my clients. I want to be so good. I tend to push myself, maybe not as hard as I need to. So, but yeah, don't be so hard on yourself and don't take yourself so seriously.
No, that's some really good advice. I feel like things will come. You just got to really
have faith.
Have faith. Put the hard work in and let the rest do itself.
Have a good system. Be a good person. Take care of your body. Take care of your mind. And you'll know what I mean by this. And be good to people.
Yeah.
That's just so the people out there don't know. I gave you a hard time in high school a little bit.
We had our moments, but at the end of the day, I am so blessed to have you as a friend that you took the time to say, hey, I'm going to give him a call.
Yeah. No, this has been a great reward coming back to Minnesota.
So fantastic. And that's what makes Minnesota so great, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, so that's some great sage advice, and we're coming to the end of the show. I do have a couple things for you because I'm very thankful that you came on the show. It means a lot to me. The first thing I have is, of course, everybody leaves with a box of fortune cookies for more fortune in your life right now.
Oh, I
real
like
fortune,
it.
Chinese fortune cookies from a real Chinese guy.
You know you can trust it.
And I know this is nothing like the Hall of Fame trophy that you got or plaque, but just a little something. Thank you to coming on the show.
Thank you for being awesome. That's going in my office at Edina Realty.
And the last thing is, you are so committed to what you do in the real estate industry. And I love how you're really pushing yourself. And I know you're a reader. And this book, The Full Fee Agent, it's not just about, it's not a transactional thing. It sounds like it is, but it's really what I see you at that higher level. Like it's about the relationships. It's about having that comfort and trust that you build with.
And Chris Voss is a great podcast, but he's also former hostage negotiator.
Yes, negotiate. His first book that I read, and I didn't read the full.
Never Split the Difference.
Negotiate like your life depended on it when it does, because like if you're not negotiating right, somebody's getting killed. And
full
that's
fee
what the
agent.
full
That's
fee
like
agent
the full
really.
service professional.
Yes,
I like it.
They can change it to major league service.
Big league results.
Big league results, exactly.
Yeah. Right. Together, we'll hit it out of the park and drive you home.
That's right. Look at that. You're already thinking. So, again, Tim, I can't thank you enough for coming on Twin City Tales. If you want to learn more about Tim McIntosh, you could probably go to Facebook, friend him on there, see some of his stuff. You just look up Tim McIntosh, American baseball player, and you can get a lot of information on him there. But if you want to connect with him, you can certainly contact us at Twin City Tales. We can connect you up. And if you can't write that fast, don't worry. We'll put it on our Spotify page, YouTube page, some of the details on how to do that. As we roll out of here, I want to thank Chris Hockey for the use of his song Thanks, with no pun intended. This podcast is powered by Twin City Heating and Electric. And remember, you can't go wrong with Wymond Wong on your Twin City Tales podcast.
This song goes out to my family.